Autoline Live from the 2013 LA Auto Show is brought to you by our signature sponsor, Hyundai, new thinking, new possibilities. And also by Audi, truth in engineering.
Welcome to Autoline Live from the LA Auto Show, brought to you by our signature sponsor, Hyundai. We're going to get going live with Mark Royce in just a minute. In fact, let me tell you a little bit about who we all have coming up on the show. Detlev von Platen from Porsche, showing us the new Porsche Macan. John Krafcik, the head of Hyundai Motor America, is going to be talking about the new Elantra, plus some very interesting powertrain things that they've got going. And we're going to have a whole lot more than that, too. Remember, if you would like to get questions to our guests, send them in. You still have time to do that. Just go to our website, autoline.tv. You'll figure out how to submit them from there. We're going to take a break right now and get going with Mark Royce right after this.
New Sonata from Hyundai.
Well, as I promised, we have Mark Royce, the head of General Motors North America, here with the big reveal at the show, the Chevy Colorado, man.
We had a big day. It was really fun. We've been working on this for a couple of years, obviously. The day finally came. The team here. We had the team here. We had the Wentzville, Missouri plant team here. Lots of excitement. So, yeah, we're proud of it.
Why'd you guys come back with a smaller truck? You know, others like Ford and Ram have sort of shied away from it. What brought you back in?
Well, I think if you look at the the historical part of this, you wouldn't go into it. We look to the future, and this is a 900 to 1,000 pound lighter truck than our Silverado. It's got 3 powertrain combinations. We're going to have a 2.5 liter. We're going to have a really nice 3.6 at over 300 horsepower, and then we're going to bring a turbo diesel into this 4. And so we'll be the only game in town with a diesel in this class, and we think we'll get class-leading horsepower and torque, obviously. And the towing piece of it, we're 6,700 pounds versus the Tacoma at 6,500. And so, we drove the competition very carefully before we did this, John, and we're pinpointing with laser accuracy a best in segment truck here. So.
And there's different models of this too, right?
There is.
Different bed sizes, and
there is. There's 2 bed sizes, and then off of a crew and an extended cab. No regular cab because we can't look at the volume and make that work. So this is but 3 powertrains and 2 different bed sizes and 2 different cab sizes. So it's really
that's a lot. You're covering a lot of bases there.
We are, and we'll have a manual in this car in the truck as well, which a lot of people really have asked for. So it's going to be really fun.
You not only listen to the customer, I got to believe you listen to California customers too. This has got to be a California truck.
We did. My daughter goes to school out here, and I tell you. A year and a half ago, I came out here to deliver to school, and I sat on the beach and watched truck after truck of the foreign competition on the beach, patrolling the beaches, and I said, you know what, we can do this. We know how to do this, and we're going to do it. And so, we're going to go hard out here with accessories and lifestyle and a cost that is quite different than our big trucks. So all those things I think will be very attractive.
So I should ask the pricing question. You're not releasing that yet, right?
I can't. I'm getting in a lot of trouble. I'm going to be in trouble. But yeah, so it's exciting.
Amazing that you do this. This has got to be a global truck program, right?
Well, I tell you, it's a global platform. We're sort of what we did is we took a global platform that we had sold, when we got out of the mid-sized business in the United States through bankruptcy. We took that global platform and we re-engineered it here in the United States for the U.S. market here over the last 2 years after we exited bankruptcy. And then we took, a global diesel powertrain and used that. And then we've got powertrains from Spring Hill with the 2.5 liter, and then the 3.6 is made in Flint, Michigan. So this is a very locally built deal, so we don't have a lot of costs, on shipping and logistics, and build where you sell, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to have agility in the pickup truck market that our competitors don't have as the regulatory and the economy changes here. So
that's really impressive. Really impressive.
Thank you.
Hey, Cadillac's got a new Escalade. Can we walk that way and talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's pretty exciting as well. First auto show debut here. So yeah.
As we walk here, I've got some questions from the audience already. Todd Crook from Long Beach, California, has a suggestion on the Spark EV. He says, can't we get a dial to dial in the amount of regen braking we get out of it?
Anything's possible. The price point of that car is sort of groundbreaking with an EV, and we certainly could do that. But we've got regen braking on the ELR with paddle shifters. So we're doing experimenting with.
You know how to do it.
Yeah, we know how to do it, and it's a great suggestion actually. So we'll actually take that back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Robert from St. Paul, Minnesota says, what's going on with the next-gen Equinox and Terrain?
Really good things, actually, and I think if you look at what we're doing, I can't talk about future product, obviously, here. It'll give my competition a field day, but I think I'd be very pleased with the continued separation of those two vehicles in a relatively high-volume size class and market here. And we're just going to keep growing that, and it'll be extremely competitive, and I think you'll be surprised at some of the technology we have in it.
Okay, here we are at the Escalade, and Rodney can show everybody what that's all about. But dramatic change. I mean, it
big change.
Clearly, it's an Escalade, but
it is.
Tell us a little bit about this.
Well, we had a truck cadence here through bankruptcy where we delayed a lot of things, and we're now getting back at it here. So. Some of the things we did design-wise were changed during that cycle because we had changed what Cadillac was going to represent styling-wise. And so what you see here is a little bit farther reaching than what we had originally designed prior to the financial crisis, including the rear tail lamps and the face of Cadillac as you see it here. And I think what you'll see technology-wise from a ride and handling standpoint, we're going to put magnetic ride control on the trucks for the first time, and I've driven these a lot, and I tell you, it is magical what it does to the ride and handling, the steering, and the braking, and the feel of the quality of this truck. So a lot of great things. We have a fold-down rear seat now. I don't know about you, but I owned one of these, and getting it out of the back to help everybody get the seats out was really hard. And for a long time, it was thought the only way to do that was an independent rear suspension so you could get the seat package lower. What we did was we really got a clever fold-down power system here that is very quick, and so it really eliminates all of that and it gives you a flat load floor without having to take the seats out, which that's what everybody wants. So it's a win-win here. So those are big changes, and of course the Q system, the next gen of the Q system is in the truck, and it's wonderfully adaptive, tactic, and the reaction times of it are quite different than the early systems.
And yeah, that's what I should tell everybody too, is the interior of this vehicle ties in beautifully with the CTS and the ATS. I mean, you've brought that look into this.
It does, and I would even go a step further. I don't know if you've been in the new ELR, but that is sort of the best handcrafted Cadillac interior that we've done. And I think you'll find that level of sophistication and craft approach to the interior of the Escalade, which I think will make it really stand apart.
That's so cool. Mark, so great to talk with you.
Thanks,
from one end of the trucks to the other end of the trucks here. Entry level to the very side end.
And a few car of the years in between, right?
Well,
with the CTS there and Motor Trend wise. And
I'm on the North American Car of the Year jury, and
the big one, right?
I wouldn't be surprised if you guys get Car of the Year with the Corvette too.
Really?
We'll see where it goes.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That was a pinnacle of teamwork and achievement here as we went through a tough time in the company, and there's a lot of people that are proud of that, worked very hard on it. So thank you.
Mark, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks,
really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
Take care now.
Thanks, man.
Okay, come on with us, folks. We're heading over to Subaru right now, which is, you've heard me report about this on Autoline Daily. It is the miracle company of the auto industry. Sales going up by leaps and bounds, and they've got some things that they're showing here at the LA Auto Show. We'll be talking with Tom Dahl, one of the top level executives at Subaru of America, and I see him over there now. Come on, Rodney, we'll go talk to him and see what's going on, what they've got at the show.
Hey, John.
Tom Dahl, great to see you.
John, how are you? Thanks for coming over our stand today.
It's
Welcome.
great to talk. It's always fun to talk about Subaru. You guys are such a happy story.
We are a happy story, and keep us happy, will you? What happy questions are you going to ask me here, John?
Well, let's talk. You've got the WRX behind you here.
That's right.
Bring us up to speed. What's going on with that
Well,
car?
we just launched the car today. It comes out in the spring. It's got 268 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque, all new engine, all new chassis. It's the best handling WRX we've ever had.
Which is saying something. The others weren't slouches either, were they?
No, they weren't. We're very excited about this car. We think it's going to do tremendous for us.
And so you've got a new front-end design on this thing. You've really tweaked the styling of it.
Essentially, the whole car is new. The entire front end
So this
is new.
isn't just a refresh?
No, it's not a refresh. It's completely new styling, built from the ground up.
What'd you do with the handling? You're saying this is the best handling WRX ever.
What we did is we worked with our engineers at Fuji Heavy Industries because of the astonishing BRZ and how well that's done and how well it handles, and took a lot of those elements that were successful with the BRZ and transferred them to the WRX to give it the best handling. This is the best handling WRX we've ever had, John.
I can't wait to drive this thing.
I can't either.
Oh, you haven't even driven it?
No, I've driven it, but I can't wait to drive the production model. I've driven it on the track.
Yeah. And you guys have another debut at the show, or another concept that you're showing.
Yes.
The new Legacy,
this
right?
This is the Legacy concept vehicle. The Legacy, as you know, is due for its refresh sometime next summer. So this is an idea, give you some idea of what the design cues of the next generation Legacy is going to look like.
Well, talk about it, because, I mean, this is dramatically different than anything that I've seen come out of Subaru.
You'll notice the whole front of the vehicle with that front grille. It's very masculine. It's got a different tone to it than our previous front ends. And as you can see too, with the with the I guess I call it a reverse C. You know, that treatment in the front headlights, the big chrome in the front. The roof line, that belt line that goes down the side of the car, and the roof line on the way back is much smoother and aerodynamic, and just gives us the general, more overall impressive appearance to the vehicle.
Interior-wise, too, you're doing different things?
Interior-wise, it's going to be the best interior vehicle that we've ever had. I know that's one of the design things that you wrote about us a couple of weeks ago when I saw your editorial. Yeah, the interior is going to be much better. The Bluetooth, the audio, the navigational systems will all be top-notch.
This looks terrific. I mean, it is a concept car, but how indicative of a production car is it?
You'll see some of the elements in a production car, in the real production car, in this, for example, the roof line. You'll see a lot of the front-end aspects of the car are incorporated into the production model. But in terms of some of the things that you see on there, like the door handles, no, those aren't going to be in there.
Yeah. No, that's a quick giveaway of any concept cars. Just look at the door handles. If there aren't any, that's concept.
Yeah, but you get an idea for how wide and athletic it is. I mean, look at that thing.
It looks terrific.
It's a beast. It looks like it's ready to pounce on you.
Yeah, it does. Hey, Tom, we've got some questions from viewers here for you. Mario Paredes from New York says, will you ever spice up your interiors, or at least offer more color options?
Well, we're working on that. That's a good question, Mario.
Let's see, Michael G. from Napa, California says, I like lots of the details on the new WRX that's supposed to be released early next year or sooner. When will we see the WRX?
Good question. We should be able to see WRX next spring, so April, May.
Okay. Brent from Detroit says, have you ever considered streamlining the trim levels on your vehicles from 3 or 4 on each of them to only 2?
That's another very good question, because our distribution folks would love that, because it reduces the complexity that we have. We have discussed that, but when you look at the sales and you look at the sales of the various models that we have, essentially it's pretty well balanced. So the concern would be if you eliminate one of them, then do you cannibalize the others? And that's really the concern there.
That's always the juggling act, isn't
Exactly.
it? Do you add complexity, or do you give the customer what they want?
And we think sometimes 3 is enough, 4, but to knock it down to 2. Now it's either, okay, you get it this way or you get it that way, and there's nothing in between.
Mm-hmm. Your outlook for next year? You looking that far yet, or are you just trying to wrap up this year?
Well, we're going to wrap up this year strong. Our forecast is to sell somewhere around 420,000 vehicles this year. So we're going to be up another 28 to 30% this year compared to where we were last year, so it's all good. We think next year, with the improving auto market, that we should also have a pretty good year.
Yeah. It's amazing to watch Subaru, Tom. It's just really a lot of fun just to see a company doing so well.
Well, and you remember us obviously back in the early 1990s, and it looked like perhaps we might leave the market. We weren't doing very well, so yeah, we
come a long way, baby.
Come a long way, yeah. We have come a long way. It's all good.
Tom Dahl, thanks so much for your time today. It's always a pleasure to talk with you.
Thanks, John.
And we're going to be coming back in just a moment.
If you want to survive, listen up. I've killed over 300 zombies. The only reason I've lasted is I live off the land and I know how to fight.
Another thing that's helped is you having that. So...
Gotta run.
Build your own Hyundai zombie survival machine now at WalkingDeadChopShop.com.
I know.
Scott Keogh, here we are at another auto show.
Indeed.
This is a big one for Audi, too. A3 coming to America.
This is a huge auto show for us. And, we're not just launching one product, as you know. We're launching an entirely new family of products. So we have the A3, S3, of course, the e-tron Sportback, and the Cabriolet. So this is a huge moment for the brand in America. And as you can see, we're a little excited.
I can imagine that you well are. I mean, now, this takes Audi a little bit more down market. Why do you want to go there?
Look, that's where the market is. And I think.
And when I say down market, I don't mean to imply that this is entry level. I mean, you're just pulling the luxury end down a little bit more.
We think that's where the market is. And when we look at the marketplace, people love the Audi brand, and now this is going to give them access to the Audi brand. And I think it's an important thing. You say down market, but if you look at the equipment, the packaging, the design, how we set these cars up, this is not a down market car. It's loaded to the gills with great technology.
Tell us about the one that we're standing next to.
Yeah, I mean, this is the A3, and it starts at $29,900. And I think one of the great things about the A3, it's a real $29,900. It has leather, it has a panorama roof, it has all the things you'd expect. I think the first thing, the build quality to the car is just absolutely stunning. The fit, the finish, the gaps is unreal. We're also real excited is when you start to plunge in to the interior of the car. You see a lot of our competitors, what they absolutely love to do is just place a fixed screen on there that a third party provides for them. We have a retractable screen. It's the thinnest screen. It's got the best graphics, the fastest speeds. I think the other thing that's cool about this is the first car with broadband in the car. 4G LTE technology. 8 devices can sync up to it. So this is something the target group is looking for. It's going to be an absolute home run. So we're excited.
You must be going for a younger buyer with these cars, too.
We are, obviously, but I think if you look at our brand, about 50% of our sales today come from Gen X and Gen Y, so we already do extremely well with that segment.
Yeah.
So we're not trying to do an extreme makeover. The brand's there already, and I think it works for us.
From the white one to the red one, tell us about this.
Now we get into my territory, and red is for a reason. This is the S3, 290 horsepower. And this is the performance end of the A3 sedan. And we'll be launching this just a couple of months after this car hits the marketplace. And really, if you look at our S models, whether it's the S4, the S5, the S6, we're delivering about 20% of the mix from these models. And really, it's for enthusiasts. So what you're going to see here, upgraded engine, 290 horsepower, quick shifting dual clutch transmission, big 19-inch wheels on this vehicle. You see the sports seat,
love the seats.
Of course here, which is a great dynamic. Flat bottom steering wheel, of course, to make sure you can get those full hand cranks on the track and everything else. And again, you'll just see that same meticulous fit and finish. And I really urge you to look at a typical $30,000 car, and you're not going to see technology that's like this. So obviously we're excited about this one as well.
And now we go from internal combustion to electrons running around.
A whole new world, exactly right. And this is the e-tron. And what we have here is a plug-in hybrid. So you have a small 1.4 liter engine producing about 100 horsepower. And then, of course, we have the battery in the back producing about 100 horsepower as well. So you have combined 200 horsepower. What we like about this is we think it's the best solution for the U.S. market. You get pure EV travel, obviously, but you also get the 600 miles of range, 580 miles of range between the engine and the battery.
580 is a lot.
I think it's going to do exactly what's needed.
How much range EV, pure EV?
We're looking somewhere to a pure EV of somewhere around 20 miles. And look, if you look at the average commute of Americans, around 15 to 16 miles, so we think it does exactly that. It can handle your commute in pure EV mode. But if you need to go off the course, you need to go shopping, you need to do something with the family, you have an engine that can carry that dynamic.
Targeted fuel economy, anything you can tell us?
We'll see. The car's going to come in the first quarter of 2015, so obviously we haven't fully dialed that in. But as you know, we're doing a bunch of drives here in LA, and the response has been great. You know, and I think another crucial thing, I think a lot of people think, well, and I get an EV or I get a plug-in, you know, it's going to be a whole different world. And what you have here in terms of the fit and finish, the packaging, you lose absolutely no space in the back.
Because
with
it's a
the battery pack. Exactly. And then the drivability of the car is what you'd expect from an Audi. So we're excited, and the reaction's been good.
And now we're back to pure driving pleasure again.
This is where I get tangled up. Yeah, I love the S3, but then I see a beautiful day in the top down on this car. And this car, you know, we've seen the great success from the A5, and this will be a great companion. A smaller version of that car, A3 Cabriolet. It shows you what we can do with packaging. It shows you what we can do with platform. But the other thing I just need to point out, if you look at so many competitors, they just do such a shoddy execution back here. Oftentimes you see a window that's not able to go all the way down. You'll see a giant antenna popping up somewhere, and you won't see a clean, fat finish. And it's just the level of detail of how we execute a car. The other thing that's nice is it's practical. You got the seats that can come down, so you have the storage that'll come all the way through. And this is a pretty simple thing. Put the top down, drive a great car, big smile on your face. So, yeah, this is going to be a great opportunity for us.
Great lineup. Hey, I've got some questions from viewers here right now.
Hopefully customers.
Customer? Well, it sounds like one. GNAP from Toronto in Canada says, I've been an Audi driver since 1980, had 8 of them. Why is your color choice so limited in the AS4 now? Especially the interiors, all black. He also wants to know, when are you going to do an RS4? He says, seems like it's missing. How about an RS6 as well? He said, I'd love a cloth interior option. So, I mean, here's clearly an Audi fan.
Clearly an Audi fan. I'll obviously speak from the U.S. consumer, but I love hearing from Canada as well. Let's jump on the RS models. I mean, this is something I have made a big push for us in the market. We have more RS models now than we've ever had. TTRS, RS5, RS5 Coupe, and of course the stunning RS7 over there. And they're right. The issue we have a little bit is Americans love sedans, Europeans love Avants. So when we developed the current RS4, it's an Avant, and we need to see the Americans get a little more excited about Avants. But the next generation, A4 is coming, and I'm going to fight for an RS.
Real quick, Tim Beaumont from Kansas City wants to know, why no turbo bifuel CNG / gasoline quattros in North America? Why only Europe?
First thing, infrastructure. About less than 1% of total fuel stations have compressed natural gas available.
In the U.S.
In the U.S.
Right.
And we do have the capability of doing it. We do have the capability. We're going to start to test some things in the U.S. But I want to tell you one smart packaging thing.
Yeah.
If you look at this car, obviously you have your battery pack here. We've designed this car that it can be an e-tron, which means, of course, battery. We've also designed it for the compressed natural gas tank. So do what we call the G-tron.
So
the packaging is here to do it.
Yeah.
We just get a little more infrastructure. We want to go that route. We think it's smart. We support it.
Scott, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure.
Very interesting story.
Thank you very much.
And we're going to take a break right now, too.
Autoline offers you one of the most effective ways to get your marketing message in front of the decision makers in the global automotive industry. Contact Stacy Eman today.
Joe Hinrichs, Ford's been on a roll product-wise lately. You guys talked about the Lincoln MKZ, the Ka overseas, and now at the LA show you've got the redesign of the Ford Edge. So fill in the details. Tell me about this vehicle.
We're so excited about this Edge concept because it showcases where we can be in the not too distant future with the design elements of the Edge, kind of freshening it, making it modern. But we're also showcasing a lot of new technologies in this vehicle, really taking us to the next stage further when it comes to safer driving, autonomous driving, obstacle avoidance, things like with other technologies like, for example, you can park the vehicle by pushing a button, parallel or perpendicular parking, inside or outside the vehicle. So a lot of new technologies, as well as great design.
I like that. So if you're in a real tight parking spot, somebody came in and parked there after you, you can't get in, what? You just hit a button on your on your key fob.
Well, if you look at the
phone,
density of parking, a lot of it's tied up with you have to have access to be able to open the doors on both sides, right? When in urban communities today, one of the biggest issues is parking, and you need more density. If you actually get to a point where cars can park themselves into spots you don't need to get out of, you actually can put a lot more parking into spots. Part of the blueprint for mobility going in the future.
Yeah. Back to the Edge for a moment here. This has been in the market for quite some time. This is the first really significant redesign. You've had a refresh, but now
that's correct. This is the first time all new. New platform, new vehicle, and very exciting for us because the Edge launched in late 2006 rather, and it did a great year for us in its first year. But we're actually having a very strong year this year. Actually, the sales this year could be the best ever for a single year in a time when the vehicle is going to be replaced soon. So it tells you a lot about medium-sized crossovers.
You know, I've always said Ford could sell ice cubes to Eskimos. How can this be doing its best year in its as it gets so deep into its life cycle?
You know, really, John, has a lot to do with our brand, the Ford brand, and utilities. The Ford brand for 3 years in a row has been the #1 in the U.S. on selling sport utilities. And whether it's Escape or Edge or Explorer, which is having a very strong year, the new Escape may have its best year ever, too. You're seeing great demand for sport utilities in the marketplace and Ford's leading brands. I think it's a compliment to all of that.
Really is. Hey, I've got some questions that some of the audience already sent in here. So let's see. Number of questions about the Fiesta ST 3-door. We've got Chuck Rome from Georgia who is saying, hey, what about that 3-door? And we've got Rob Vale from Philadelphia saying, you bring the 3-door over here and I'll trade in my car immediately.
Well, we love the interest in the Fiesta ST. It's a great product. This past week, I received an award on behalf of Ford from Popular Mechanics on the handling of the Fiesta ST, best in the industry. But right now, we're happy with the 5-door. I think we'll leave it at that for now.
I love the ST. The audience has heard me say this before. Best enthusiast car for the lowest possible price.
That's right. I've driven it too. It's really fun to drive.
Yeah. Mad Max 3 from SoCal says, hey, you guys have alienated all us Ranger truck buyers. Anything you got for him in the future?
Well, actually, you know, we continue to improve the F-150, as you know, and our sales are up 20% year over year. Actually, a number of the Ranger buyers, the biggest number of them go to an F-150, and also a good percentage of them go to other Ford products. You know, we'll have more to say over time, but we right now are very happy with our portfolio of F-Series products, and making those more fuel efficient and better in the future is part of our strategy.
I'm sure you're going to keep an eye on Chevrolet coming out with the Colorado, its small pickup, and see what happens there.
Yeah, it's supposed to be announced today here in LA. Of course, we have the Ranger that does really well for us worldwide, but the new Ranger is a lot bigger and more expensive and frankly a lot more capable than the old Ranger was, so it's not really the same vehicle anymore.
Yeah. Let's see, Marco Morello from Pittsburgh. This is an easy one. I could even answer this, but we'll have you do it. He says, when is the 2015 Mustang going to be shown, and when will it go on sale?
Well, how about that? We announced yesterday that on December 5th, we're going to unveil the Mustang to the world. We're going to do it for the first time globally, 6 cities around the world, according here in LA, as well as New York and Dearborn, as well as Sydney, Shanghai, and Barcelona. So wait till December 5th. It's going to be a very exciting day. It'll be on sale next year, but we're not saying exactly when.
April 14th, could that possibly
I know
be a
that date. That's an important day. It's not just the day before your taxes are due in the U.S.,
right.
but it's also the 50th anniversary, so exciting time for us.
How interesting, too, that you're going to be showing the Mustang on a global basis. This really starts to make the one Ford thing come true for traditionally North American products.
It does. You know, everywhere around the world, we did research on the Ford brand with nameplate recognition. Even if we didn't sell the Mustang in that market, people said Mustang. So it's so iconic and so important to America, not just Ford. We're very excited about taking it around the world, but you'll see it's true to being a Mustang, and it's true to its American roots. Trust me.
Joe Hinrichs, always a pleasure to talk with you.
Yeah,
good feel story coming from you.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to thank you for all that, and we will be back in just a moment.
What kind of?
Excuse me. What kind of car is this?
What kind of?
There's nothing else like it. The new Equus from Hyundai.
Well, obviously we're at Porsche right now, and my next guest on the program is Detlev von Platen from Porsche North America. Great to have you back on.
Great to have you here, John. Thank you.
You've got to have us here because you've made big news today, big global news with the introduction of the Macan.
Yeah, we are thrilled. We have chosen California, Los Angeles. You know that we have a kind of love affair with California, with Porsche. 65 years of history here. So we have chosen California to have the reveal of our whole new Porsche Macan. Big deal, big moment for us.
Well, let's go take a look at it. We have to show the audience what it's all about. And I imagine that you've had quite the reaction from the California audience here.
Beautiful reaction. I mean, we had the reveal yesterday night and today, and we are thrilled. I mean, the car has got a fabulous response, and I have to say, look at this. I mean, it's a Porsche, first of all, and it's a whole new Porsche, completely new car in the compact SUV segment.
The hottest growing segment in the luxury.
The fastest growing segment in the United States, and we started from zero, and we have put a lot of Porsche DNA in it. It's 100% DNA. This car brings all the Porsche performance, agility, power, design language, speed, and I have to explain, this is what we did with the name. You know that our cars has a lot of personalities, and we decided to take the word tiger in the Indonesian, Macan, which represents agility and elegance, and I think the car deserves it.
It's a really nice compact design. That's got to be a thrill to anybody who's a real enthusiast.
Yeah, and I think our engineers are right. I drove the car. And I have to say, amongst our four-doors cars, they are pretty good. Panamera and Cayenne. This is the car, I would say, where we are the closest to the 911 experience. Driving that car is amazing.
Give us a little bit of the specifications, the engine, pricing, and the like. Or can you give us pricing now?
Sure, we can. First, I'd like to talk about the power here, and we have two versions. We have the Macan S with 340 horsepower. We have the turbo. The Macan Turbo, 400 horsepower. You cannot say no to that, right?
No, you cannot.
And we hope that we can address a whole new group of customers, younger customers, more urban, more women maybe, and of course passionate about a driving experience. And the future Porsche owner will be able to step into this car under $50,000. So
under $50,000. So that opens up a huge part of the market for you.
Yeah.
Sure it does. Hey, we've got some questions from some of our viewers. Let me put a couple of questions to you. Vladimir Theodora from Peoria, Illinois wants to know, what about Porsche promoting diesels in the U.S. market at less than $50,000, which might suggest, could we ever see a diesel in this?
We are not looking for low entry points in the Porsche family. You will not find a cheap Porsche. We are a sports car manufacturer. We are putting a lot of investment in developing sports cars, and I think below 50,000 is something we will not do in the future.
That's actually good to hear. Brian from Los Angeles wants to know, when are we going to see sport bucket seats in the U.S. as they are available in the rest of the world in the GT3?
Like that question. He's right, and I think I have to kick the ass of my engineers. It's coming up. It's coming.
That's cool. You guys are having a great year this year. You think the momentum will continue on into next?
Yes, we have a great momentum in this market. I'm very happy. We are not only the biggest, but the fastest growing market in the world for Porsche. And for me, it's important that we have this story continuing in the future. It's not just about growing. We are not selling cars. We are selling an experience. We want to make our customer happy. We have happy dealers. Very strong dealers in Porsche centers doing a terrific job, I have to say this. And I think Porsche is just about the beginning. Strong momentum, and again, we are loyal to our roots. We are a sports car manufacturer, and we like to do that.
I love what I'm hearing here. One quick last question I should have asked you earlier. When will the Macan be available for sale?
We cannot wait for people driving this car when it hits the ground here in late spring 2014.
Okay, we'll just have to wait until then.
Thank you.
Detlev von Platen, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, John.
Have a good show now.
Thank you.
Okay, folks, it's not too late to get some of your questions in. Be sure to go to our website, Autoline.tv, and you can submit them, and we'll be back right after this.
Opinion, gossip, and true believers, plus cars, and more cars. Join us live each Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern for Autoline After Hours on Autoline.tv. That's Autoline After Hours, where performance meets opinion.
Paul Ferriolo, say it right. Ferriola. Head of all product planning for BMW North America. You've got the global debut of a 4 Series Cabriolet here. And looks to me like this is kind of an all-weather cabrio car.
Hey, that's a good way to describe it. We've made this car a little larger. It's wider. The track in the back is 3 inches wider. We've made a little more space on the inside. But what we've really done is improve the practicality and making this car as flexible as you can get. This first time ever for us, we'll have an X-Drive version of this, an all-wheel drive version coming out sometime in the middle of next year. But it's all the storage capability, flexible storage capability we have in a car with a 3-piece retractable hardtop that's really exciting.
Well, let's run through this because this is pretty amazing. We've got to show the audience what's all here. So this allows what? Pass-through from the trunk?
Well, yeah, first, it's really great to have one of these wind blocks on a convertible. So it cuts back on the air that's coming from behind you and makes it a lot warmer. And we combine that with our new neck warmer. So really driving this car...
these little vents at the top of the seat, and it blows hot air out there.
Blows that warm air in. So the
cool air in the summer, too?
Warm air.
Just warm air, okay.
So we get this, and this combination makes the car really great fun driving in the winter. But where do you store something like this? And it's really a challenge. So now we have this double folding mechanism. We fold this up, and we have a great place to store it. So you're no longer just putting it in the trunk. You put it behind the second row.
And then you fold up the seat back.
And the seat folds up.
Tucked away and no one sees it.
So great place to store it. But that's not all. The car does a lot more. Retractable hardtops, we fill up the trunk with the top when you fold it up. So sometimes getting the luggage in is a bit of a challenge. And really, you have a car like this, what do you want to do? Maybe in the summer you want to go golfing. Putting golf bags in can be a challenge.
They would never fit in there as it's open, right?
But we have this clever new mechanism that lifts up the back and allows you to slide your golf clubs in and through a hole that it exists between in the back seats. All right, we get this up, pop that up. All right, and now we can fold down this. And so now you can put your cargo in. And then when it's loaded up, you can get a good shot through there. Then when you load it up, you put this back down, and we close the top.
This is really wild. So you've made the convertible far more practical than it would have otherwise been.
It is. You can do everything you want with this car. And it's a BMW, so we worked hard on making it fun to drive. This car, our 428, is a full second quicker to 60 miles an hour than its predecessor.
And that time would be?
4 or 5.
Now, I'm sorry to put you on the spot with that, but it's faster than the old one.
It's faster. The track is 3.2 inches wider in the back. We've made the chassis 40% stiffer, so the driving dynamics is even better than its predecessor, with a little bit lower center of gravity as well.
Okay. This is the global debut. When's it go on sale?
This will go on sale early next year in time for the warm weather fun.
In the U.S.?
In the
globally?
U.S., correct. Globally similar, same dates.
Wow, and price more or less?
We start right around $50,000, a little bit below $50,000 for our 428.
That's a pretty aggressive price for this kind of a car.
There's a lot of, look at all the technology you're getting for $50,000.
Hey, we've been asking a number of our guests questions from the audience. So Vladimir Theodorov from Peoria, Illinois says, what about diesel platforms, especially like on the X1?
Hey, great question.
For the U.S., we're talking, because obviously in other markets it's already there.
The European brands and BMW in particular has some of the best diesel engines in the world, and we're excited that we're now bringing those diesels to the U.S. You can now get a diesel in a 3 Series, a 5 Series, an X5, and we have some more cars coming with diesels. And what we've got now is we have the ability to do diesel with S-Drive or X-Drive in our 3 Series, and it's really opening up the diesel.
So if the demand is there, we could see even more of it.
You'll see more. And the thrilling story in a 328 diesel, 45 miles per gallon highway. fantastic fuel economy, and a car that's still a lot of fun to drive.
How are they selling in the U.S.?
We're just launching them. What we've seen over the last several years, because we've had an X5 diesel and a 3 Series diesel, we're seeing slow, steady growth. And it's a kind of buyer now who's an early adopter. He's either aware of diesels from time in Europe, or he just likes the new technology. And they're the brave ones. And what they're doing, they're telling all their friends how great the economy is, how great the torque is, how great the range is. So we're really seeing that market grow in a nice, slow, steady way. And independent of what happens with fuel prices. So it's an exciting market for us, and I'm thrilled that BMW can bring these great diesels to the U.S.
Paul, I'm glad I ran into you here. Thanks especially for walking us through this convertible. Really interesting stuff you've done here.
All right, John, thanks for coming.
You bet.
All right, take care.
Really good. And we'll be back in just a moment.
This January, Autoline covers the North American International Auto Show like never before. During press days on Monday and Tuesday the 13th and 14th, Autoline Live will talk to the executives who made the biggest news and unveiled the hottest products at the Detroit show. But the coverage doesn't stop there. Stay with us on both Wednesday and Thursday, the 15th and 16th, when we are live from Industry Days, as the supplier community comes to Keogh Hall and Autoline Live to discuss the vital issues driving today's industry. For the most comprehensive coverage of the North American International Auto Show, there's only one place to turn: Autoline.tv.
Harald Wester, CEO of the global Maserati operations. Very interesting. We were just showing the audience there the logo that the company started in 1914.
Yeah.
100 years next year. I had no idea that the brand had been around so long.
Well, it has, and it's one of the most iconic and the most historically loaded brand in the world. And it started right, pretty similar to Ferrari, just to mention our cousins. It was founded by 5 brothers, which were located in Bologna. One was the leader, he was a technical head, all the others 4 worked with him, and one was an artist. And this artist has chosen the logo of the brand, the Trident. And what can I say about the Trident, despite that I love it? If a company starts picking a weapon as its logo, it's telling pretty much that compromise is very low on its list of virtues.
I love the way you put that. Now let's talk about the no compromise Ghibli that you have here. Very iconic name for the brand. Tell us a bit about this car.
Well, I would like, first of all, Ghibli was one of the most beautiful car in the 60s. But I would like to come back to the stand and to the stuff here, and to Los Angeles in particular. I mean, we have chosen Los Angeles not with a very clear concept. This modern, ever-changing, exciting city, artistic city, we saw was a perfect location to present our new global marketing stand and brand concept, and of course our new Ghibli, which carries pride alone on its shoulder, because this is the car, a Maserati, affordable, carrying all the DNA of the Maserati Ferrari engines, and a stunning beauty, with an astonishingly, shockingly low sticker price in the range of $65,000 and a couple of dollars. This is why we are here.
That's great. It's a stunningly beautiful car. $65,000. You're right, for the Maserati brand. That's quite an aggressive price.
Nobody could imagine that a Maserati could get that affordable.
Now you have to tell the whole world about this, I imagine. What are the goals that you've set forward as CEO of Maserati?
Well, our objective after the first 100 years of our history, for the next 100 years of history, we completely reshaped the company. We launched this year 2 new products. First, the Quattroporte in January in Detroit, and then the Ghibli in April. Today in LA, the US premiere, the first time we show the car physically new. And these cars, plus the current and existing ones, they gonna carry the company to really new spheres. Our objective is to sell 50,000 cars in 2015.
In the U.S.?
No.
Oh, globally. Okay.
Globally.
I was going to say.
The U.S. will remain, I'm absolutely sure that the U.S. will remain our biggest market. And it should carry something in the range of 40, 45, maybe up to 50% of this total volume.
Beyond Ghibli, can you tell us any other plans that you might have?
Well, to Ghibli, then the Gran Turismo and the convertible, very hot product still, and very much liked by all of our customers. And as we already announced, in 2015, we're gonna add to this range a Maserati SUV or crossover.
And you've shown concepts of that. I think the Kubang was the first iteration.
Kubang. In the meantime, we announced publicly there will not be Kubang, but it was, well, we will call it Levante.
Levante. That's a nicer name, I think.
Another win.
Very good. Harald Wester, thanks so much for taking the time. Very interesting what you're doing with Maserati here.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Okay.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Hey, I want to remind everybody, we still have time to take some of your questions. Just get into the chat room and let us know anything that you'd like to ask about, and we'll be back in just a moment.
The new Sonata from Hyundai.
Hey, lady! That's Diesel!
I know.
Okay, we've made our way over to the South Hall. Come on inside here. We're going to be talking with the Hyundai people right now. And we're going to be starting with Mr. John Krafcik, the CEO of Hyundai Motor America. John, great seeing you.
How are you? It's great to be here. I can't shake your hand.
No, my hands are full. Actually, you want to hold this mic?
I can hold that for you.
Okay.
So, welcome to the Hyundai display.
Yeah.
We love LA. It's our home show. And so we've got an awful lot of stuff. We won a couple of awards recently, some residual value awards for cars like Santa Fe Sport and Accent. So we're going to show folks that here. But if you guys want to have a look over at the stage, one of the key things that we're going to be displaying here today, later on at our press conference, is the launch of the all-new Tucson fuel cell. And what's great about this is that we're going to be the first mass-produced fuel cell car available in the U.S. market next spring.
And I think that's an important qualifier, right, to have mass-produced. Because Honda's been selling them, but they sold, what, a handful or something like that?
Yep. These things roll down the same assembly line as gas and diesel-powered Tucson, so we've been able to take a lot of cost out of the car. The fuel cell stack is neat, it's clean, it fits under the hood. Just a fantastic deal. And I want to tell you the best part about it, but I can't, because I can't share that until about 4:30 later on today. But that's Pacific time, of course.
Yeah.
But we've got an amazing value proposition, and we're doing something that no one has ever done before in terms of how we're going to market with the car and how we're handling the energy cost. Something really cool. Can't wait to show you.
Can I say it?
Do you know?
I know. You're going to give the fuel away for free.
How did you get this? You've scooped me, John McElroy. That's not fair. It's the way we think at Hyundai. It's similar to our assurance program. Whenever we can find a way to say to consumers, look, you guys are worried about, you don't know what the cost of hydrogen is? I'll tell you what, you don't have to worry about it. All the fuel you need is on us. So unlimited hydrogen when you lease a fuel cell vehicle from Hyundai, and that price point, $499 a month, is absolutely astonishing.
It really is. I mean, for that level of technology, you're essentially getting an R&D project for $499 a month.
That's right. So what we're doing now is taking you guys up to our Hyundai Lounge, and during public show days, Hyundai owners, just flash your keys. You'll be able to come up here and relax with food and drink, and There's all kinds of great stuff up here. And today there are a lot of really cool people, some of my friends and colleagues, some you'll be talking to soon. But I want to show you this, John. You guys know we have been in temporary headquarters in Orange County for some time.
I've been to them.
Yeah, and we are now building and have almost finished an incredible showcase of environmental leadership. It's our all-new building in Fountain Valley. It's about a $200 million investment, over 400,000 square feet of space. This beautiful 6-story cube with an open atrium. We've got all of our engineering facilities, garages, service and quality work going on here, and one of the world's largest parking garages. Very green building, and we're very excited about moving in there. So that's something in our future.
Really shows how Hyundai's growing in America.
Yeah. It really is a fantastic testament, I think, to our commitment to the U.S. market.
When do you move in?
I should be in at the end of this month.
Oh, this is right around the corner.
Knock on wood. Yeah. So I don't know if this is okay, but we've got a crack social media team at Hyundai Motor America, and they're hard. Actually, you know what? This door is sort of open. Do you guys mind? These are the guys from Autoline, and this is the social media team. They're Liz, come on, and they're hard at work.
Tweeting out,
monitoring coverage. In some cases, they're actually working. And we're trending. Liz says we're trending. One of the things we're doing right now is actually integrating content from a competitor's presentation into our presentation that we're going to show in a couple of hours from now. It's a shout out. It's a real positive thing, because one of the big themes of this show is hydrogen. It's sort of hydrogen's coming out party. So in our presentation, we tasked these guys to find a way to get Toyota and Honda images from their fuel cell announcements, and Honda's doing theirs really soon. We're going to have that integrated in our presentation in just a couple of hours.
Well, that's pretty wild.
Pretty amazing team.
Autoline just tweeted us right now.
Autoline just tweeted, so thank you. This is some kind of recursive thing. Tweet them back.
Yeah.
Hashtag Hyundai LAAS.
That's great. Y'all take care now.
Thanks, you guys.
The hardest working social media group at the show.
That's right. I'm telling you. So, John, I can get you a coffee over here. We've got this really cool coffee bar. But my good friend, he's the Vice President of Corporate and Product Planning at Hyundai Motor America, Michael Bryan, is here. And I think he's going to take over. I'm going to give him the mic, and he's going to take you back down to the floor so you can see in more detail that fuel cell car, which is amazing. We've got a fuel cell engine on display, which you can have a look at. It's amazing technology, really, and we're ready. America's ready. We call it the next generation of electric vehicle, and Mike will explain why we have that point of view. So,
thanks, John. Thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. Let's hand the mic to Mike.
Thank you.
And let's walk on down there, but start filling us in on some of the details of what we should be looking for.
Well, we've been working on our fuel cell project since the year 2000. So
this is year 13, eh?
We've been working on it for a few years, and the whole idea is to create a vehicle that has a transparent transition from gasoline. So a refueling time, range, performance, the types of vehicles where you can incorporate a fuel cell powertrain were all important considerations. And so when you think about fuel cell, as John mentioned, it's really the next generation of electric vehicles.
I gotta believe you'll really start here in California, which has already announced a program to start building out hydrogen fueling stations.
Right. Governor Jerry Brown has announced $20 million a year through 2019 to fund, initially their idea is 100 stations. There's already a number of them here in Southern California, so the idea is to continue to expand them and to make it more accessible to customers. So, we're very excited about this product. When you think about it, it truly does, if you were to say one thing about it, is the next generation of electric vehicle. When you think about...
Should we cut through here?
We can cut through here. So this car, Tucson fuel cell, we're approaching right now. It looks the same as our gasoline Tucson. It has the same number of seats, basically the same ability to haul cargo.
If not for the badge, I would not know that this is a fuel cell car.
Exactly. And so if a customer comes into our showroom and they test drove the fuel cell Tucson and the gasoline Tucson, the biggest difference they would notice is this is silent.
Yeah.
But in terms of acceleration, in terms of braking, in terms of handling, it's basically the same. So they don't really give up anything. It's less than 10 minutes to refuel, just like gasoline. About 300-mile range, which is about the same as our gasoline model. So to the customer, it's really about the same experience.
And you got an engine over here, too.
We do.
Fuel cell stack, I guess I should say, right? That's the proper terminology.
Well, yeah, the dream of fuel cell is amazing when you think about it. So instead of, with batteries, you're storing energy on board.
In chemical form.
In chemical form. So there's a chemical conversion that release the electricity. With hydrogen, you're storing the fuel on board, and you're making the electricity. So the difference is, with hydrogen, you make the electricity on board versus storing the electricity on board with an electric vehicle. And frankly, the amazing part about this is the fuel cell stack has no moving parts. None. Basically, you're
just
passing
electrons, right?
Just
They're
electrons.
the only thing moving in there.
So really, the only thing that's moving is we move air. We move air into this engine just through an air cleaner. It looks just like a gasoline engine. Ambient pressure air we move through on one side, the anode, and then we pass hydrogen gas over the cathode. And through passing those two gases across there, you create electricity. And the only output of this powertrain is water.
So that's why you guys say you're reimagining the EV. Instead of using batteries, you'll use fuel cells for your
The power source is onboard creation of electricity through hydrogen.
So this package here looks to me about the same as maybe a V6 engine with a transaxle.
Yeah, I wish we had the Tucson powertrain here. So if you look at the bottom, here's the electric motor, which develops 134 horsepower, about 221 foot-pounds of torque. The gasoline engine's 177 horsepower and much less torque. I think I can't remember the torque, but it's much lower than 221. So this would take the place of the transaxle and much smaller. If you look at the entire powertrain buildup, fuel cell, the gasoline, it's between a 4 and a 6 cylinder in terms of its overall size. It's bigger than a 4-cylinder powertrain, but smaller than a 6. But you can see the working parts are quite simply the stack itself, inverter and electronic controls, and the electric drive motor. And then, of course, a cooling system you see in the big blue pipes. So there's really not much to it.
A lot of automakers are talking about fuel cells. I mean, we've been talking about fuel cells forever, but why the impetus now?
Well, really three things. One is we as a manufacturer have now developed the technology to the point where we can say it meets the same durability standards as gasoline cars. It meets the same performance standards as gasoline cars, braking, acceleration, refueling time, range. It's scalable to any vehicle type. It could be on our largest vehicle in our lineup. It could be on the smallest. There's no limitations on sizing of this powertrain. And right now, the infrastructure is expanding very rapidly with Governor Jerry Brown's commitment and the federal government's renewed commitment to hydrogen. We now see it as a perfect time to bring this car to market because now we're seeing government and private industry becoming more involved in getting the infrastructure moving. And, of course, the product itself being ready to go.
And to reiterate, next year?
This coming spring, so spring of 2014, this car will be available at select dealers in Southern California. We're rolling it out based on the stations that are here and now. So we're locating the stations that have been selected or ones that are close by or convenient refueling outlets. And so we're making it an easy conversion for our customers to go from their gasoline vehicle and replace it with a fuel cell vehicle.
I look forward to driving this.
The best news, and I think John may have mentioned, is that we're offering this vehicle for $499 a month, 3-year lease that includes all the fuel for the life of the vehicle, all the fuel. Everything is included, including free service and maintenance. We pick up and deliver the vehicle for you, just like with our Equus. And on top of that, the only thing the customer has to provide is insurance. That's it. So it's a pretty compelling offer.
That's pretty good. Hey, we got a couple of quick questions from the audience here. Let's see. Will from New Haven says, what about a Hyundai Prius competitor?
You know, we always like to do things a little bit different at Hyundai. So you can imagine that we're going to do much more in terms of hybrid, plug-in hybrid in the future. We're probably going to do it our own way. So I'm driving a Sonata hybrid right now, and it's getting fantastic mileage, but it's got a full-size EPA-rated interior. So we're very serious about hybrids as well, but I think we might take a little bit of a different path.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see. He says, oh, that was just on that one. Okay, that's what we've got for right now, Mike.
Okay.
Questions from the audience.
Okay. We're ready to go, so I hope you join us at our press conference in a little while.
I'll be here.
Excellent.
Even though everybody just got a little bit of a preview of what you're going to announce.
We'll give you more then.
Okay.
It's good to see you, John.
Mike, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Okay, and now, hey.
Hello, John. I'm Brandon Ramirez.
Brandon, great to see you again.
Good to see you. We have the Elantra family here. We have the Elantra GT, the Elantra Sport, and the Elantra Coupe. And they're powered by... It's powered by a 2-liter GDI engine that delivers 173 horsepower. And that's a 19% improvement over the standard 1.8 liter that's in the Elantra. So it's a much powerful engine, but this Elantra Sport also has a sport-tuned suspension and steering. Also, you can see from the exterior design, it has been enhanced. You can see that it has LED headlight accents, unique alloy wheels, and in the rear, you have LED taillights with a rear spoiler, a rear diffuser, and a exposed exhaust. Also, at the inside, there's actually 75 changes on the Elantra sedan for 2014 model year. And inside, there are other changes as well. It has an upgraded navigation system with Pandora Internet Radio. Also, for the limited trim, it gets Assurance Blue Link Assurance Connected Care. So for 3 years, consumers get automatic crash notification, SOS, free for 3 years. We also have a special treat for you. Over here, we have a Veloster that's covered up. So as you can see, R-Spec. What R-Spec means is the ultimate in performance. And we already introduced the Genesis Coupe 2.0T, the 3.8, as well as the Genesis R-Spec. So we're very excited about showing you the Veloster R-Spec. Are you ready?
All right.
Are you ready?
Yes.
That's all I can show you.
Oh, come on, Brandon, come on. Here, we'll give them a bit more of a peek, eh, what?
But the big message is we removed some premium equipment to make this the most affordable Veloster Turbo. And this is powered already with the 201 horsepower, 1.6 liter turbocharged engine. So it's very powerful.
That's great. Let's go back to the Elantra just for a second. I mean, not physically there, but when will those new enhancements be in the showroom?
It's going to be in the showroom in December.
So right around the corner.
Exactly, exactly.
And the R-Spec Veloster?
That's going to happen early January.
So you got some momentum coming here.
Yeah, we're very excited. And then after the show, we're going to have a special treat. Just think of Walking Dead and Tucson. So stay tuned.
You're doing too much tantalizing here now. Just a peek at the R-Spec and something else coming on. Later today, we're going to see
Exactly, later tonight, yes.
Oh yeah, because you've got your big party tonight.
Exactly, exactly. We're very excited to show what that is as well.
Let's see if I've got, we've got a couple of other questions here. What about a Sonata sports wagon? We've got a question from Sebastian about that.
We always continue to look at new concepts, but stay tuned. You may see a new Sonata very soon.
That's great. Brandon, thanks so much for bringing us up to speed. I didn't realize, I knew about the fuel cell car. I didn't know about the enhancements to the Elantra and the R-Spec Veloster.
Oh, I'm very excited to talk with you, John. It's great to have so many products to talk about.
That's great. Again, thanks so much for your time, Brandon.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Take care now.
You too.
Real good, folks. We're going to be wrapping up here in a minute, except that I've got a few more questions from the audience.
Throw the break, right?
Yeah,
throw the break.
First, we're going to come back in just a moment for the questions that have come in. Stick with us. We're going to a very quick break right now.
If you want to survive, listen up. I've killed over 300 zombies. The only reason I've lasted is I live off the land and I know how to fight.
Another thing that's helped is you having that. So...
gotta run.
Build your own Hyundai zombie survival machine now at WalkingDeadChopShop.com.
There's only one talk show that covers the issues and executives that drive the auto industry. Turn to Autoline This Week, every Friday at Autoline.tv or on your local PBS stations across America. Autoline This Week. You can't get more inside the industry.
I know.
from Shanghai to the Silicon Valley, the auto industry may make news around the globe, but there's only one spot to get your daily dose. Check out Autoline Daily at autoline.tv, Monday through Friday at noon Eastern. Autoline Daily, for the concise word on everything cars.
Welcome back, folks. We've had a lot of interviews that we've done on this live broadcast from the floor of the LA show, and we've got a few questions here that have come in from you that are generic questions, not aimed at any of the executives that we've been interviewing. We'll start with Vivian Johnson from Detroit, Michigan, who wants to know what is on the horizon for Tesla in terms of plans to improve battery safety. Great question. Of course, you're not the only one asking that. Vivian, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is keenly looking into what's going to be going on with the Tesla batteries. There's been some suggestion that maybe they'd have to put a skid plate on the bottom of the car because, as you know, the two fires that have happened, or the three fires that have happened, is when the cars have really hit road debris. Actually, two of them were road debris, another was just a horrific accident. But it looks like maybe they're going to have to protect the battery. So a skid plate underneath. Tesla's talking about doing it with aluminum, maybe. Others are saying, nah, you got to go with steel. We'll see what happens with this. You know, these are pretty severe accidents that have caused these fires, so it's not like there is some sort of defect in the battery or the like. And I don't know if they're going to have to go to a skid plate or not, but that's what's being talked about right now. Okay, next question. Bob Auberton from Montreal in Quebec says, hey John, I'm a big fan of your shows, but here's my question. I notice you have chosen to have several interviews with Hyundai executives. Yeah, they're our signature sponsor, but none with the Chrysler Dodge execs. Why? That's a real easy one. Chrysler and Dodge didn't have anything new to show at the show. We've tried to go around to what we felt were the most important introductions at this show. And, you know, hey, we love the people at Chrysler and Dodge, you know, no dissing them. It's just that they didn't have anything new here. That's going to be a different situation at the Detroit show. I'll bet we talked to them a lot there. Okay, let's see. Chuck Grenchey says, arguably, Motor Trend picked the wrong car of the year. And, of course, they picked the CTS. Sounds like Chuck thinks they should have picked the new Corvette, the C7. He says both are great new introductions, but Chevy does it for practically the same intro price. Cadillac does it and raises the base by over $5,000. He says he's a Caddy fan and owner, but he doesn't get it why they picked the CTS as the Motor Trend car of the year. Look, it's not an easy decision. I don't know why Motor Trend picked the CTS over the Corvette. I've driven both cars. I think they're both terrific. In my book, the Corvette is just so awesome. As you heard me earlier in the show tell Mark Royce, I think it could end up as the North American car of the year. We'll see how that goes. But I think, you know, it's hard to fault Motor Trend for picking the CTS. I think looking at other GM products, it could easily be the Impala too, which is a knockout car for what it is. But for my money, boy, that Corvette, it just raised the bar. And, you know, think about it. This is C7, only 7 generations of this car in 60 years' time. So it's absolutely something special. Anyway, we want to thank you. I think that's all the questions I've got right now from the audience. Want to thank all of you for having tuned in. Want to thank Hyundai for being our signature sponsor. Remember, we're going to have this on our website, this show. Also going to have it on our YouTube channel. Just look for the Autoline Network. Tell all your friends and family if they really wanted to catch what's going on here. But for now, John McElroy signing off live from the LA Auto Show.
Autoline Live from the 2013 LA Auto Show is brought to you by our signature sponsor, Hyundai, new thinking, new possibilities. And also by Audi, truth in engineering.